I said, and I'll say it again, the greatest prophecy in the scriptures is the returning of our Lord. And all the prophets spoke about it. The major and minor prophets, they all spoke about the returning of our Lord Yahweh Shai. And we're living in that time now.
Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain.
Like I said, and I said it before, I think that's one of the greatest prophecies contained in the Bible, the returning of our Lord Yahweh Shai. And I was thinking about that too. The majority of the people of the world don't know the true name of the Lord, but we're blessed to know his name. His name is Yahweh Shai. And we also believe by faith we are pronouncing his name correctly, according to the ancient Hebrew. And that truly is a blessing. The Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, and the Son's name is Yahweh Shai. And like I said, the returning of Yahweh Shai is one of the greatest prophecies, if not the greatest prophecy in the Bible.
Hey, Shalom Akim, Yahweh Shabbat Barakatuh. Today we're going to read the second book of Ezra, chapter 13. This is second Ezra, chapter 13. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereof the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to our younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutation. Hopefully, they got there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopefully the believers and listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Shah. All right, and it's a lot going on. I titled this Wars and Rumors of Wars, because we're going to deal, with a little bit of the Civil War that's brewing in America, all right, and the conflicts, all right, that's happening abroad, All right, and what we're seeing is America, all right, getting ready to lose. Okay, America is getting ready to lose. If a brother could, matter of fact, I'll wait on that. I start out with these two here, all right, because dealing with the Civil War in America, these things are prophesied. Okay, so what we're seeing is just prophecy play out. No matter the elites, they behind the scenes and causing things to happen and setting a scenario, all right, for these things to happen. Well, the Lord wants these things to happen. All right, He put the spirit on the elites, to push for civil war. All right, push for civil unrest. Okay, because that's what the elites want. Because ultimately they want a weakened America going into the new world order. Okay, and they know a lot of Americans are not going to be okay with this NWO. Okay, they know there's going to be a lot of kickback in America, man, when you really start taking, all right, liberties, okay, from these pampered Americans, man. Okay, and it's going to be extremely violent. All right, so what we're seeing them do is they're setting a scenario for a lot of Americans to be against each other, man. And to take each other out. Okay, at the same time, while you have these UN troops and missing mercenaries, all right, being put into position, man. Okay, so you read this in Isaiah 19:2, and it says, "And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and the modern day Egypt is America." Okay, the scriptures speak about dead bodies lying in the streets of spiritual Egypt and Sodom, and this is here in America, man. Okay, Egypt, spiritual Egypt, going into how all 12 tribes, served the hard bondage, okay, in ancient Egypt. Okay, you go to the customs of ancient Egypt, cosmetics. Okay, they had women equality back then. Okay, um, you go to the gods of Egypt. Okay, especially with Amen Ra, which is the sun god. That's why you have church on Sunday. There's a lot of similarities that go into it. All right, but we're in spiritual Egypt. Okay, and it needs no explanation. Okay, when you speak about Sodom. Okay, no explanation is needed to prove that America is Sodom, man. All right, now it says, "And every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." Okay, and what are they pushing in the news? And when you see something repetitive on the news, all right, that lets you know that the elites are behind and promoting it. They try and provoke a certain reaction out of the masses, man. And how ironic, so it's 25 states, that's with Texas, okay, and closing the border, and Texas defending itself. Okay, it's ironically 25 states, man. Okay, and a lot of these people, the governors, a lot of them, they're in on the gig, man. They in on the jig. Okay, they playing a role because of the goal. All right, is to captivate the minds of the masses. All right, to rebel and turn on each other, man. Okay, which will give license. Okay, will justify. All right, a harsh response. Okay, from the government, man. And they know that the American troops are not going to want to carry through. Okay, with being harsh on his own people. Okay, so they got the border open, flooding in, their own troops, man. the global military, man. Okay, this is Zechariah 8:10 said, "For before these days there was no hire for men, nor any hire for beasts, neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in." Okay, because as all these things are happening, all this tension is happening in the earth, man. You're constantly having what? Job loss, okay, layoffs, You know, everything is happening at the same time. As the scriptures say, though they tarry, it will not tarry, man. All these things happening, you know, at the same time. All right. And eventually, hey, the powder keg is going to explode, okay? And to just pandemonium, man. Extreme violence, man. Extreme poverty, man. All these things, all right, are to come here in America. It said, neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in because of the affliction. For I, and this is the Lord doing this, man. Okay, the elites are behind the scene, you know, pulling strings to the things that we see happening. But the Most High is behind them pulling the strings, man. Okay, so it says, "For I set all men, every one, against his neighbor." You know, it won't let me post the rest of it, but yeah, he set the Most High is setting everyone against each other. Man. The Most High wants these people to cancel each other out, man. Okay, because the majority of these people, they're here in vain. They're just pawns, all right, in the overall war, all right, that we see brewing in the earth, man. Okay, so I want to get this video here, and it's gonna kind of explain it. You're gonna go into some few things that I thought would be informative, and you know, I'll let it play for the most part, all right, and we'll go from there. Then I think they shadow banned this live screen. I don't think no notification came through, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see which one is it. No, that ain't it. All right, so let's deal with like I say, the Civil War aspect. All right, because like I said, what we're doing, we're seeing America being broken down. All right, from the inside out. Okay, so yeah, this the one. So yeah, this one about 11 minutes. So I'm gonna let it play. You know, and we'll go from there. All right, so it's just gonna go into different clips of what's been happening. You know, it's a couple days old, but I say it's pretty informative dealing with the border. All right.
That the Constitution itself is the supreme law of the land.
Texas seized control of the park and then began denying entry to Border Patrol agents.
Called Take Our Border Back. It kicks off Monday.
The border has now reached the boiling point that you now see governors getting involved. We have a trucker convoy coming down to the border. The American people are going to have to get involved.
Look at yesterday. Look at all this crap that's going on.
He actually said that. He said that. How dare he say that? The only loser I see is Donald Trump.
Texas seized control of the park and then began denying entry to Border Patrol agents.
Brandon, federal officials demanded that Texas allow access to that high crossing area, but Texas leaders say that's not happening, and in fact, they're doubling down. The state has installed rows of razor wire in Shelby Park and says more is being added along the border. A Supreme Court ruling allows for federal agents to cut or remove the wire, but there's been no decision yet on the case as a whole. Governor Abbott says Texas is doing what it has to do with the backing of the Constitution.
Regardless of what federal statute may exist, the supremacy clause means that the Constitution itself is the supreme law of the land. The Constitution itself provides Texas with a right of self-defense in this case because the United States has abandoned its responsibility to defend Texas.
Former President Trump is among a growing number of Republicans rallying behind Governor Abbott in the escalating fight with the federal government. Trump is also calling on Republicans in Congress to oppose a bipartisan deal on border security. Now, those negotiations continue with members of both parties expressing optimism that an agreement will be made. Others say President Trump putting some pressure there and could cause that bill to stall. Some now asking President Biden to federalize the Texas National Guard to take control of the park in Eagle Pass.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott refusing to give up control of the Texas border to federal officials, saying the state will not give federal agents full access to Shelby Park today. That ignores a deadline set by the Biden administration, which is today. Instead, Abbott is installing more razor wire following a Supreme Court order allowing federal agents to start removing it.
Look at yesterday. Look at all this crap that's going on.
Donald Trump, when he was commander in chief, refused to visit a cemetery, U.S. cemetery outside of Paris for fallen American soldiers. And he referred to those heroes, and I quote, as suckers and losers. He actually said that. He said that. How dare he say that? How dare he talk about my son and all of us like that? Look, I call them patriots and heroes. The only loser I see is Donald Trump.
Texas now receiving support from 25 Republican governors, all backing Governor Abbott's border actions, blaming the Biden administration for the crisis. Former President Trump wants to take it one step further. He's now encouraging these states to deploy their National Guard troops to Texas to prevent illegal crossings. Trump's vowing that if he becomes president again, he's going to work with Abbott to seal the border. Writing, quote, Biden says let in those should not get it comfortable because they will be going home. I want to bring in Texas Congressman Lieutenant Colonel Keith Self. Congressman, good morning. Governor Kristi Noem already saying, yes, I would send National Guard troops. Is that something that you think that Texas is open to? And is that a move that needs to be made now?
Well, that will be up to Governor Abbott. But I think the border has now reached the boiling point that you now see governors getting involved. We have a trucker convoy coming down to the border. The American people are going to have to get involved. I'm delighted to see 25 governors support Governor Abbott. And I think we're going to have to be aware that the president can federalize the National Guard, but it would be much harder if 25 governors sent their National Guard troops to the border to support Texas.
Karine Jean-Pierre has been asked about this, and of course she's defending her boss, President Biden, but her response is always interesting. It still seems to be a gaslighting type of response from her. The border is secure. We're working on the border. Secretary Mayorkas, we're very aware of the issues down there, but their goal is to process migrants, not to stop the flow of migrants across the border.
Cheryl, I was on the border just 3 weeks ago, and that's exactly what the Border Patrol is doing. They have 72 hours to process the illegal immigrants, turn them over to ICE or a nonprofit to move them into the interior of the United States. They are not there to stop the invasion. And that's perfectly clear to anyone that's been on the border, anyone that sees the videos. At one point during the tsunami of probably a month ago, there were no Border Patrol agents actually in the field. They were all in the office processing paperwork during that tsunami.
Let's talk about this trucker convoy. You brought this up just a moment ago. So this is called Take Our Border Back. It kicks off Monday. So you've got multiple starts. You've got trucks leaving from Virginia Beach that are going to go through Texas, Arizona, California. On the website, it describes the event as a peaceful assembly, encouraging all freedom-loving and law-abiding Americans to attend. I saw that you posted on X to raise awareness about that. You obviously just mentioned it a moment ago. I understand that you're going to be speaking once they get to Eagle Pass. I also see that it's going to go through Yuma. It's going to go San Ysidro, California as well. 700,000 vehicles. That's the prediction here. How do you keep that peaceful and on?
So they supposed to have a trucker convoy go down there, to Texas. All right, and they said there was 700,000 vehicles, man. Then you're gonna have multiple people, with some of those vehicles, man. So easily, 1 million plus, and then they put, Biden and Trump on the main stage, but we know it's all the act. All right, Trump pretty much rallying, the patriots to act in the way that the elites want them to act, so they can be justified in using a particular force. Okay, so the recipe for civil war, all right, is being stirred in the pot, man. Okay, and we gotta remember, this is what these devils want. Look at the timing. Trump just popped back on the scene. Man, he been irrelevant as hell. He just popped back up on the scene, winning states, and back at the center of controversy. Okay. Then you have the movie Civil War coming out, all right, in 3 months. All right. And you have all this going on. Even, the suggestion of these 25 states that side with Texas, to send their National Guard to Texas, that sounds like a setup to me, man. And guess who's giving that suggestion? Trump. Okay, because you remove all those National Guards from those 25 states, okay, and you put them in Texas, then you have something to happen. Okay, now you got 25 states with with no National Guard. All right, so when I heard that sounded fishy to me. Okay, but just me speculating as a man. All right, so I'm gonna let a little bit more of this play. All right, then we'll go on to the next one. So he's going to talk about the convoy, and all those people, million plus people. Anything can happen, man. This is agent provocateur heaven. All these people, all these moving parts, man. Okay, this is going to be a haven for agent provocateur. All right, activity, man. Okay, so we watching this thing, man, and see how it play out. The protests and the convoys, and we'll see. Okay.
On track. That's a lot of trucks.
Well, the people that have organized this are the same people that went from California to D.C. with the truckers. I understand we're going to be joined by Canadian truckers. So these people are committed to a peaceful demonstration that we've had enough. The American people have had enough. We're demanding that the Biden administration do its job, enforce the laws on the books, and secure our border. 8 million people during the Biden administration. That's more than the population of Ohio. This is the time for us to rise up as the American people and demand that our president do his job.
Well, I hope, again, I do hope that envoy is peaceful and organized and doesn't kind of, you worry about large movements like this. I mean, obviously the Canadian trucker convoy you just mentioned ended up creating a lot of issues and a supply chain issues, of course, for the Business Network. I had to ask that, but I do want to bring in Carol Ross. She's got a question for you. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, Congressman, I love the fact that people are standing up and using their voices peacefully, but we know that bad actors in the past have co-opted these types of events and done everything they can to make the peace-loving Americans look bad. Are you concerned that there might be some sort of co-opting of this convoy?
That's always a probability, but you learn as you do these events. So they now know that that might have been in the past. So they've got measures in place to make sure that does not happen. And I am hopeful that that will not happen because this should be a peaceful movement of the American people joined by other nations if they want to come. This is the Canadian farmers, truckers. This is the German farmers. This is the French farmers. This is the Dutch farmers. This is a movement well beyond the United States that people are simply tired of the overreach of their federal governments, and we're pushing back. Now is the time.
We continue, obviously.
Yeah, he made the statement. Now is the time. All right, these people, there's a awakening when it comes to these governments, especially these Western nations, these EU. He spoke about the different, protests that's happening in Germany and French. All right, in France. Okay. Now you see, Canada, America. All right, and these people feel as if the government has let them down, and not only has the government let them down, the government is at war. All right, with its own people. All right, at the decree of the elites. Okay, the elites want to do a culling, man. Okay, they want to get rid of, all right, a lot of the current population, man. Okay, and they have many different means that they want to do it by. All right. Now the elites refer to people as what goyim, okay, or cattle. All right. So that's why you hear that term colon, which I'll get that definition real quick. Then we get a couple precepts, and then we'll segue to, all right, across the pond. All right. This is that word culling. All right. It says a reduction of a wild animal population by selective slaughter. Okay? By selective slaughter. Okay, it says the action of sending, all right, an inferior or surplus farm animal to be slaughtered. Okay? So it's a slaughtering of livestock. And it says a selective slaughter. They want to get rid of you, all right, you patriots, you red-blooded Edomites, okay, niggas, all right, Jake, it's gonna be a selective slaughter. Okay, anybody that's with the right, okay, because the liberals are pretty much, the a liberal way of thinking, is pretty much the prototype for the new world order. To accept everything, their party, happy-go-lucky, alphabet, you know, um, love conquers all spirit, no standards, okay, my truth, that type of mindset, okay, is acceptable for new world order, okay. But anything that's conservative, traditional, okay, it's a problem, man, because this man wants to create a man in his image. This is what this devil is going with it. This is his end game, man. Okay, so I want to get a couple precepts real quick. Let's get that in. All right, but what we're seeing is the Lord, all right, pulling down this man's empire. All right, and he's doing it from the inside and the out. This is on Psalms 75 and 4. I said unto the fool, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked lift not up the horn. All right, and what we're seeing, Esau Edom is dealing foolishly within his rulership. He has got the earth, he has enchanted the earth to be in complete rebellion, okay, to righteousness, rebellion to Yahweh Shemal Shai, completely anti-Messiah. He's destroying the earth, okay, and he's continually at war, man. He's dealing very foolishly in his rulership, okay, and he's lifted up the horn, which is his power, man. He's boasting, all right, in his power and his authority that's been given to him. It said, lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck. And there's nothing, all right, that can be told to Esau, okay, that will make him, okay, back down, man. All right, he's all in wickedness, man. Okay, but this is the thing he has forgotten. His pride has blinded him to this point. Verse 6, for promotion coming neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. Okay, so this devil has been set up. Promotion came from the Heavenly Father. All right, and Esau has just been a case study, and the whole experience for us as Israelites of how not to rule, man. This is what the elect will, come to the conclusion of this captivity. So this devil was promoted for prophecy's sake, man. But overall, this is the example of what not to be in rulership, man. Okay? But the Most High is getting ready to put him down and set up another. All right? And that other is Yahweh Shai. All right? The governing body of Israel, the 12,000 men from each tribe. The rest of the 1/3, and eventually all our people, okay, are going to be in rulership in the kingdom, okay, in the righteous kingdom. So we're seeing the crumbling of a wicked kingdom. Now, I know we get this a lot, in the book of Mark 3. Okay. It's the book Mark chapter 3. All right, verse 20. Start 24. It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And this is on all levels. You know, these devils are disagreeing on all levels, man. You know, from Joe Sixpack, okay, to government officials, okay, and even you best believe the higher ups, man. There's division, man. As Esau, all right, wants to crown their enterprise, man. Now you get this word divided, all right, because hey, a lot of these Edomites, they got different directions they want to go, all right, for their kingdom, man. All right, now you go to this word in the Greek. Right?
Strong's G 3307, merizo.
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 Okay, I want to go into this. It says to divide into parties. Okay, to divide into parties, man. And what are the main two parties? The Democrat, Republican. Okay, it says, i.e., to be split into factions. All right, and this is what we're seeing. You know, people are breaking off and being split up based on what? Their ideologies, man. The ideologies that Esau gave them. Okay? So this is what we're seeing happen in real time, you know, and just like what's happened, all right, since October 7th, you know, it has spiraled into what we see today, you know, these prophecies, you know, because they usually die down after a while, man, you know, but it's been, what's that, 3 months, you know, in about 3 weeks, you know, since that situation started over there in the land of Israel, and is only escalating further and further. It's only, you know, it's spreading into a regional conflict, man. Okay, so we'll see, you know, how it play out, you know, with these with all this tension of civil war, okay, in America, man. Okay, so let's get this here now. These guys are gonna go into, okay, as I know you brothers and sisters been seeing the videos with NATO, all right, and EU nations pretty much calling their citizens to arms. You know, to let them know, look, we in wartime now, okay? Because what has happened, you know, all these EU nations, okay, America, NATO, they shovel all their money into Ukraine, you know, thinking Ukraine would at least, you know, hold Russia to a stalemate, you know, and eventually, you know, to call the war off and it just go back to, you know, like it was or not. All right, the Lord got spirit on God and Magog, man. Okay, them hooks in them jaws, man. All right, and them EU nations, they scared shitless, man. Okay, what's Putin's next move? Because he done busted the dough in with Ukraine. All right, because you got those nations that they created that they're pretty much, we had the USR, you know, be dismantled, you know, and they annexed them nations from the USSR, the Soviet Union. You know, they pretty much set them nations up to be, you know, like a buffer between Russia and the EU nations. Okay. And what has happened with Russia going into Ukraine, which is one of the bigger, all right, one of those biggest nations that border, you know, Russia and Europe and European nations. So now, you know, they know Putin is in a very strategic place in Ukraine. You know, as far as, you know, launching, you know, an invasion on Russia, I mean, on Europe. Okay, and these Europeans, I say, scared shitless, man. Okay, so I'm gonna play this. All right, I'm gonna jump around, but it's some pretty good info, you know. So, Lord Willis informative, you know, we'll go from there.
Good evening and welcome to the program. Glad you are with us tonight. I'm going to be joined by Leo Holman. Some Brits have been told to get ready for the possibility of being called up and going to war. We also hear that NATO is telling their folks and their countrymen to prepare for war with Russia. Things seem to be coming apart at the seams faster and faster. We have a border convoy, American citizens who have said, we are a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And we, the people, are the ones in charge of our protection, our security. Government is instituted by men, us, the people. We grant them the responsibility of protecting our families, which includes one of the number one purposes of government, security and protection, to reward the righteous, punish the wicked, make a stable and just society. This government, we know in DC, has been hijacked. We have a usurper in the White House who has direct ties back to the CCP. He acts as an agent of the CCP. How could anyone say otherwise? The money trail adds even more dubious intentions to, well, his actions. So let's ask ourselves this. Should the American people sit there and let these terrorists pour over the border to commit acts of, well, say October 7th in Israel on us? Apparently, more and more Americans are saying, no, we don't have to wait for the government to fix the problem, for we are the government. We now have a rogue government, deep state, whatever you want to call them, that is deliberately destroying the foundations of our society.
And if a brother could, real quick, what's that second Ezra 15? All right, they should no more listen to their princes, okay, with their rulers, because you're going to government, you know, govern, going into rule, and mint is the mind. You know, when scripture say they won't listen to their princes and rulers, and their actions shall stand in their own hand. That's the mindset that's out here, man. You know, their actions standing in their own hand. And their brother could all the precepts concerning with, you know, the Medes, you know, Gog and Magog. All right, because we're gonna constantly hear their name because Russia plays a major part, you know, in the taking down, okay, of Babylon, man. Okay, and ultimately this beast system. Okay, so Russia is going to spearhead this onslaught. All right, on America, man, and even some of those EU nations gonna get touched up as well. Okay, but yeah, he's speaking about how people, pretty much, you know, they ready to take things into their own hand. All right, I might get it real quick just to read it. Yep, you can just read it. I gotta pull it up. It's the book of Second Ezra 15. Get straight to the point. All right, this Second Ezra 15 and 17. And it's verse 16 said, for there shall be sedition among men. All right, sedition is going against the government, man. Citizens going against the government. All right, and we're seeing, you know, the propaganda is to get this to happen, man. Okay, so they can come behind with the force they want. And says, in invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And this is the atmosphere that's being set. You know, they want to purge, you know, type atmosphere, all right, set in the earth, man. You know, we see it gradually going that way. All right. So there's some more of it play.
I ask you this. What would you do? What would you do if you were trying to destroy a country? Has Joe Biden and his regime done anything that you wouldn't do if your intentions were the destruction of America? And so Americans are now headed toward the border, a convoy. We'll talk to some of those who are headed in that direction as 25 states step up tonight to say we join Texas in the border war that's now ensuing. We'll also be joined by historian Bill Federer. Bill Federer will tell us about, well, how we should be thinking about what these 25 states are doing with Texas. Where are we headed? And what constitutionally should we be thinking about? And then we'll be joined by Hernando RC. He's been here now, I think, twice, 3 times. He's down on the border. He has a friend, a colleague who will join him tonight as we get a firsthand report for what's happening on the border. All that and more tonight. Joining me first up is Leo Holman of leoholman.com. He's also an associate producer with worldviewreport.com, my nightly newscast, heard each night at 7 o'clock Central at worldviewtube.com and on demand at worldviewtube.com. Leo joins us now. Good evening, Leo.
Good evening, Brandon.
So, first of all, what do you make of the opening monologue here?
Good stuff, Brandon. Can't wait to get into it with you.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go, first of all, to the concerns about a war with Russia and Brits being called up. I have a video clip of a man, very eloquent speaker. Tell us who we're about to hear from, please.
That would be Neil Oliver. He is a British historian of Scottish descent. Very mainstream, has been on the History Channel, the BBC, until COVID hit, and he didn't like what he saw in terms of the dictates, the mandates, the heavy-handed reprisals and vax mandates, and he now is starting to sound, Brandon, a lot like you and me, in the way that he is talking about the evils of the system. And he was not real pleased today when he heard about General Sanders, the British Army chief, coming out and saying that the nation needs to prepare to fight Russia. And Sanders said that they need a citizen army to rise up, and that the British military is woefully unprepared at the present moment for the big fights that are coming with Russia. And so Neil Oliver had a really, really hard response to that. He is a father too, by the way, a father of a I think a teenage boy, and so he has a vested interest in this.
Indeed, he does, as so many of us do. Let's go to a little bit of his presentation. It's 19 minutes long. We obviously can't play the whole thing, but at least it will give you an understanding of what he's saying. Now, folks, here in America, since February of 2018, I've been doing one program after another since February of 2018, warning about a coming draft in America because of a commission put together by Barack Hussein Obama and by John McCain. Now, I started covering this in February of 2018. The commission was created by Obama and McCain as Obama was going out the doors of the Oval Office. We waited for their report, which came out March, I think, 2020. And sure enough, it is recommending that women have to sign up for selective service and that indeed they could therefore be drafted. So,
you hear that? See, women are about to get the opportunity to be equal. Okay, and show how tough, black girl magic. See, all this everything's finna come into play. Whatever people believe in, whatever they stand on in times of peace, you gonna have to stand on it in times of war. Okay, so it's already in the books. Okay, for women to be drafted. That's the number one most Googled thing right now. Well, that's your answer. It's in the books, man. Okay.
So one has to wonder what's going on, particularly when we read other stories about preparations for what looks like could be a draft and increasing those who would be the recruiters. So Americans better be paying attention as other nations are going ahead and sending the signal of recruitments or call-ups coming. When will America start such hints, do you think, Leo?
It can't be too long, but I don't think they want to do it before the election coming up in November. I think that would be the death knell for an already very weak president. And it's not just the UK. If you look around the Western Alliance, the NATO countries, Sweden has come out recently and said that they're going to reintroduce a form of the national service, sort of a draft. The German defense minister, Brandon, came out just today, Boris Pistorius, and said that the German military is not at all prepared for facing Russia and that they need to have a, quote, serious debate about the future of the country's military, arguing that in its current state, it is not fit to tackle the array of security policy challenges facing Europe. So you've got a number of major Western European countries here, the UK, Sweden, Germany, the Netherlands has put out a similar statement, all talking about how, hey, we have this threat emerging in Russia, which you can debate how much of a threat Russia actually is to the West and whether or not it just wants to, deal with the Ukrainian problem on its border. But I think these nations know what's coming. I think they know that this is getting ready to be a much bigger confrontation than just over Ukraine. And they're suddenly realizing, you know what, we're not prepared for this. And so they're all talking about reinstituting conscription type programs, Brandon. And so the United States is going to be right there with them. With the United States military is woefully missing its recruitment goals for the last 2 years under Biden. Our military is in probably the worst shape it's been in the last couple of decades. And so it can't be long.
No, it can't be long. All right.
So, yeah, those EU nations don't stand a chance with Russia, man. And they know it. That's why they pour so much money and weapons into Ukraine, to at least, weaken Russia. But it backfired. Ukraine, then, pretty much their whole military is gone. Over 400,000 men, military men, slain in Ukraine by Russia. Meanwhile, Russia is getting 118 new recruits a day. You see? So now we're seeing prophecy, really, starting to put pressure in the earth, man. Okay? And these EU nations thought for sure that Ukraine, would cripple, Russia, man, but it failed horribly, man. All right, as the scriptures say, is there any more wisdom in teaming? You see? This man getting ready to hold that L. All the way around. All right? So, yeah, they'll play some more. I'm going to skip in a minute.
Let's go to this clip by this Brit. You'll love his accent as well. Very eloquent speaker. Here we go.
A news story this week troubled me even more than most news stories trouble me, because of the potential for personal involvement in this one. I don't know if you saw the story in the news about a call-up, a military call-up for Brits, for British people. No lesser figure than the Chief of the General Staff has been out in the world saying that the government, the British government, should mobilise the nation. Those are his words. Mobilise the nation in readiness for, deep breath everyone, fighting Russia. So, get ready for war with Russia. And don't just get ready to watch war with Russia. Get ready to fight Russians. Hand to hand, in uniform, according to General Sir Patrick Sanders. 2 years ago, the same soldier said that Britain was facing its, quote, 1937 moment. So 2 years ago, he made a reference to the 2 years before the outbreak of World War II, you know, when things were looking ugly. He says, and it's being said by observers, that he's not actually talking about conscription quite yet, which if he did, it would be the first time in 60 years that there was mandatory military service in this country. But it sounds like mood music to me. You know, the last few years have taught us something about pattern spotting, and it's that words come out. They leak out like steam from a kettle, and you hear them, and then you think, did I hear that right? And then you hear them again, and then you hear it again, and it spreads like a kind of virus, you might say, so that you hear it on the news. So,
and he's pretty much going into how, you know, they set the mood. All right, well, he said mood music. You know, like if you wanted to set, you know, you want to do, you know, like some lo-fi music, you know, some jazz, you know, you'll set that music in the room. Well, this is what these devils are doing, you know, telling these people about the war. They're setting the mood, okay? Because, hey, plain and simple, it's wartime, okay? And these leaders know that. All right, you had I think this general Sanders, you know, the one that pretty much told the Brits to call the arms. All right, he you know, he and the admiral, you know, they it's rumored that they had a following out, and he's gonna get ready to retire, man, because now is like the old folks say, the rubber finna meet the road. You see, all these situations ain't gonna be hypothetical anymore. All right, it's gonna be a reality, man. And you know, amongst those different leaders, man, they they don't want it with Russia, man. Okay, but guess what? It's above what people want. It's about what the Lord wants, man. Okay, what's that? In let me get that real quick. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the next part. Isaiah 40. All right, this is the book of Isaiah 46 and 10. All right. In Isaiah 46 and 10, it said, declaring the end from, it said, declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times of things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. And part of the Lord's pleasure is war, because the Lord is using this war to judge a lot of people, man. You know, there's gonna be great judgment in this war. All right, the Lord gonna do a culling in the earth, man, a selective slaughter. Okay, and this war is gonna be a major way that the Lord does a selective slaughter, man. Okay, and you everyday Americans, hey, oh, you getting involved? Okay, and those, you know, just seeing, you know, the 5 o'clock news and you seeing what's happening over there, nah, man. Okay, you getting involved. This is a world war. This is for everybody. Okay, it's gonna affect everyone, man. You see, so I'm play a little more.
if a senior soldier is talking about, you know, mobilizing the nation and getting ready to fight Russia, you can bet that he's not just thought that up over his morning coffee and said it. You can bet your sweet bippy that it's there in the establishment, and they've decided to let's just run it up the flagpole and see who salutes, would be the expression that comes to mind. It's worth knowing that General Sanders, is standing down from his role He's retiring. Apparently, how would I know? But apparently, there's been a falling out between him and Admiral Sir Tony Radican. And Admiral Sir Tony.
Nothing good about America. There's nothing good about Britain. Our history, right? We've seen radicals going around tearing down statues of our history. This has been going on not just in America, but in the UK, in France, in Germany. The same Antifa types have been loosed upon our countries to desecrate some of the most solemn memorials. And these are the things that, these memorials are what create social cohesion in a country. Our history, our values. Maybe some of it's not even great history, but it's our history, right?
Right.
And so when you teach your young to hate what your country stands for, what your country came up from, now you're going to try to tell them that you have to go and defend that country against the big bad Russians? There's a dilemma there, because there's at least 2 generations, maybe 3 now, who've come through this public school system who've been brainwashed to think that there's nothing good about America. There's nothing good about Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, Spain. These are the countries that fought the Nazis. They're not doing that in Russia. They're not doing that in China. They still have, they keep their history intact. They're very proud of it.
Oh, you mean they
And
don't
so-
push the LGBTQ agenda in China and Russia? You mean they actually want people to get married and have children and populate and have family values?
Correct. China not so good on that point, because they did have the 1-child policy and then the 2-child policy.
True.
I think they've expanded it to a 3-child policy now. You're allowed to actually have 3 children there, but definitely in Russia, and in China also is not going gung ho with this LGBTQ obsessive culture that we've seen come here in the United States and in Western Europe. So yeah, if you've got 2 countries leading, facing off against each other, a coalition on one side that values its history. I don't even care what the history is, but they value it. And on the other side, you have a coalition of countries that have been taught that everything is bad. You're all white supremacists, right? And you're awful, evil people. Which coalition would you put your money on, Brandon, in a war?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Let me go to another one tonight that is very interesting. Brits face conscription if UK goes to war with Russia because their military is too small. Here's an interesting report. Listen, my friends, to this.
No secret of the fact he thinks the British Army is too small. The current Conservative government has cut it to its smallest size in more than 300 years. And General Sanders made the point that over the last 30 years, the British Army has halved in size. He's made the point that he sees the current generation of soldiers as a pre-war generation, rather than living in what's been defined as the post-World War II, the post-war era. He talks about the pre-war era, and that was a phrase picked up by Defense Secretary Grant Shapps earlier last week. The point he was making about mobilization, he was saying it is prudent to prepare for national mobilization. He was saying that it is essential countries take steps to be ready to move onto a war footing. But he wasn't quite going as far as saying we must be on a war footing now. He wasn't quite going as far as saying we need to mobilize now. He was making the point that the country, Britain, and indeed NATO allies need to be ready. It's also fair to say that these comments have rather blindsided the government, have blindsided Downing Street.
Wow. Leo?
Yeah, so Downing Street, meaning the British Parliament, the British Prime Minister's office, they're acting like they don't agree with this General Sanders, right?
Right.
They had to come out and say that, right?
Right.
I mean, they couldn't. I think they were using General Sanders, as Oliver put it, to create the mood music. where you're projecting that this is in our future, folks, and it leaks, as he said, out like steam out of a kettle, and people suddenly start to get used to the fact that, hey, we're going to war, right? It sounds shocking right now, but this is just the first mention of it. As it gets repeated more over the next months, the months ahead, we will see that it becomes normalized. We will see factories converting over to making war materials. We will see a military draft started up. Whether it's in 2024 or 2025, I think it's coming, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm afraid it is too. All right, let's go to NATO. We had one of the NATO officials basically telling everybody they're going to go to war. Now, what I find very interesting is that at this very news desk in, I think it was 2019, because my documentary Siege came out in December 2019, so it could have been 2018. But Dr. Peter Vincent Price said at this very news desk, it said that Russia and China had carried out the largest military exercise in world history in 2018, known as Vostok 18. So I think this was in the fall. This may have been in 2018, and I put it in my documentary. It came out in 2019. And he said what they practiced was NATO being attacked. Russia and China carried out the largest military exercise known at that time, really probably in world history. And we had the video from the Daily Mail that replaces the troops, the tanks, the planes. It was amazing. And what was said by Peter Pry at this desk was that Russia and China were practicing an attack on NATO that included a nuclear attack, and they were learning to rebuild roads and whatnot. And then he declared it was also likely a practice of a nuclear attack on America. But a week before Vostok 18, as it was called, they practiced something that was called Operation Dragonfly, where they penetrated and attacked and entered and penetrated the power grid in America. So isn't it interesting? From 2018 to now 2024, here's this guy at NATO saying, oop, we may be finding ourselves at war with Russia. It's like they've been following a script.
Absolutely. And the largest NATO exercise, Brandon, is getting ready to go down in Europe. The largest NATO exercise, including dozens of nations, in 60 years.
Yep.
In 60 years. So you tell me we're not heading towards World War III.
Indeed.
Both sides are ramping up. Now, the Russian economy is already on a war footing. They've already converted many of their factories over to making war material. That is yet to happen in the West. So I think that is the next big thing. When you see President Biden or the UK, France start making announcements that they're going to start
I don't know what happened. It shut down. Hold on, let's see. I might. Yeah, they shut it down. Damn. Yeah, so they stopped it. So pretty much, just sum up what they saying. Get a few precepts. So you have the Civil War, that's brewing in America. You got the truck convoys. You got the 25 states, siding with Russia about shutting down the border. All right, which is causing a divide. All right, you got Trump on the scene. Pretty much as an instigator. All right, and you seeing over here, like I say, with the NATO and the EU. Okay, as you see these NATO nations, pretty much trying to scrape up a military. All right, because they, didn't think that, they will have to deal with Russia so soon. Okay, but the Lord is speeding the time up. All right, that's why he said here in Revelation 9 and 12, it says, "One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter." Okay, so one woe is past, the First World War, but there was prophesied to be two more. All right, to come after. All right, and the Second War. All right, the Second War has already happened now. All right, because we went from post World War II to now we're in pre World War III. Okay, and this is all you're hearing. Okay, it says, because going back to that setting the mood, they say particular things, and you become numb to it. It becomes normal talk, you know. But then once it actually happens, he says he's gonna catch a lot of people off guard. Jeremiah 51 and 46, it says, "And least your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall a rumor come, and violence, all right, in the land, ruler against ruler." Okay, and this is what we're seeing. Okay, this is what we're seeing happening now. You have that going on with NATO and EU. All right, but guess what? You got America with the Civil War. You got America that's, expected to defend NATO and the EU. And see, this is why, because people think Trump, just crazy. He's a character, but Trump, he stood on business, man. And this is why Trump, would handle, those EU nations like that, man, and NATO, man, because America pretty much was paying, was financially supporting 75% of NATO. Okay, and that's why Trump was telling them other nations, "Look, y'all got to pull y'all weight." But they were just used to America going out there and getting the first round knockout, and everybody, parlay and chilling off what America was doing. So that's why Trump, used to hand them niggas rough, man, push them out the way when they come take pictures, man. Okay, calling them out, saying, "Look, y'all ain't giving enough, man." And now it's being exposed. All right, they're in no way, shape, or form, okay, prepared to deal with Russia, man. Okay, now I gotta let's go here. Because you had that happen with NATO and EU, but now you have this happening. All right, which I'm gonna do some short videos. All right, and you see America, okay, is becoming weak. All right, this going to show that America is becoming weak, man. Okay, so let's go here to I think the brother posted it. All right, which those three.
Shaping in Georgia military.
All right, so I know brothers and sisters been seeing this. All right, those three Jakes. All right, the U.S. Service members. All right, they got killed. They got put to death, man. And just before we even play it, man, you Jakes that's in Esau military, man, y'all better get out that shit, man. you know, you in this man's military, man. This man is in some shit. See, I'm gonna let it play. Then I'm gonna expound on it, man. All right. Was it everybody think that the military is just this something to do? Nah, man. Now we're finna see active. See, anybody can be in the military in peacetime and play soldier. Okay, now it's real, and now that fear that these nations had on America, that's gone. The Lord is causing it to leave, man. All right, and these nations getting active over there, man. So let's play this.
Georgia military families in mourning with both tears and pride following the death of 3 Army Reserve soldiers killed during a drone attack in Jordan. And tonight, the Pentagon says that a group is now claiming responsibility is actually backed by Iran.
President Joe Biden says the U.S. will respond. 2 of the soldiers were close friends with each other. Their parents speaking tonight to 11 Alive's John Schierick.
They are dazed and heartbroken.
I'm just taking it really moment by moment.
And they are proud of their daughter, Army Reserve Specialist Kennedy Sanders of Waycross, and her close friend, Specialist Brianna Moffett of Savannah, and the sergeant who served with them, William Jerome Rivers of Carrollton. All 3 killed during a drone strike on their quarters at their base where they were serving overseas in Jordan. Oneida and Sean Sanders wanting now to tell Kennedy again.
I would say I'm proud of her. I would always let her know that I was proud of her service.
Kennedy Sanders, 24 years old, volunteered for the Army Reserves in 2019. She met Brianna Moffett, who was a year younger, in basic training, and they became close friends, serving, then dying together. Moffett's mother, Francine Moffett, tells me she last spoke with her on Thursday to make sure the care package she sent had arrived.
Because she wanted her strawberry shortcakes and her sunflower seeds and her real estate book because she was studying to become a realtor as well. She always had a smile on her face. She always loved her friends. She always loved her family.
Sergeant William Rivers, 46 years old of Carrollton, enlisted in the Army Reserves in 2011, earned multiple awards and decorations. Family and friends not available Monday to speak about him. Moffett's and Sanders' parents grieving for Rivers and their daughters, praying for the soldiers who are still there, and proud beyond words of their daughters.
She lived a big life for only 24 years. Do what you want to do, set goals, and live life. You never know when the end is here.
I pray that this does not happen to anyone else.
In Atlanta, John Schierick, 11 Alive News.
If you're a woman who...
So now, as you see that, all right, first and foremost, and this is, you look at those children, you see they 24-year-old, all right, and the black woman in America, okay, they mature extremely late. Now they will learn how to be savvy in Esau, corporations, but mature wise, they 24, so they were like 11, 12 in the mind, maybe 10. Okay, all over there in Jordan, man. Come on, man. Okay, completely out of place. But see, America has spoiled its citizens with peace. Okay, you go back to what they call Pax Ramona. Okay, what you go into it was like the golden years of Rome, because that's when they had peace. They had pretty much put down all opposing forces, all opposing nations, and they enjoy the era of peace. And America right now is in, well, for the longest, for these last, few decades, they've, been in a Pax Romania. All right. Well, they've been spoiled by peace. Where you can join the military and never really have to fight. You just go through the motions and play like you're a soldier. Okay, and you seen that little Eve, the gun was bigger than her, man. What is she doing out there? Okay, but it's just coming the time to where the Lord just finna cause these things to open up, man. All right, He's finna cause all these things that we read about to really open up in the earth, man. You can't just go to the military because you want a Camaro. Okay, that's not gonna be the play anymore. Okay, you going over there, there's a good chance you ain't coming back. Cause then they said what 30, it was like 30 servicemen that got injured. Okay, so their drone strike rock their place, man. You know, and you got a similar outcry, but it'd be more of an outcry if it was Edomites, man. They'll probably be, at the White House now if it was Edomites. Okay, but the fact that it was 3 Jakes, that should show you that these people don't care about you, man. You wait till Edomite soldiers start dying and you see the reaction. All right, I can almost guarantee it's gonna be a completely different reaction, man. Okay, why in the hell is niggas in this man military? Well, you don't expect to fight. All right, well, this should be a major wake up call to you Jakes in the military. Now, I get it, you went, you didn't have to. All right, you could go and not fight. You can just go through the motion and come home with a little money, credit, school paid for. You kind of sit up. Okay, but this should be a wake up call to look. It's real now. All right, these now they shooting back. See, it was one thing when America was doing all the shooting and blowing shit up. All right, now these people are shooting back. Okay, so let's get a couple of precepts. Let's get this first in Ezekiel 12 and 20, 22. All right, it says, Son of man, what is that proverb that you have in the land of Israel, saying the days are prolonged and every vision filleth? And people say this by their behavior. People, are extremely nonchalant when it comes to prophecy, when it comes to the scriptures, when it comes to what's going on in the world. Our people are extremely nonchalant. That's why scriptures say, who is blind but my people? Okay, who is dumb, all right, other than my servant? Speaking of Israelites, man. Okay, the most less informed people in the earth, especially if you're in the black church, you don't have a clue what's going on, man. Okay, you waiting on the next booster to come out. You don't know what's going on. All right, but the Lord, we read verse 23, tell them therefore, thus said the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand and the effect of every vision. All right, and those 3 Jakes getting killed, that's a part of the effect of every vision, man. Okay, and it's just the beginning. All right, and we don't feel sorry for you niggas that's still in league with Esau, man. Okay, we not gonna shed a tear for you niggas, man. All right, it's just the beginning. The Lord finna really open up in the earth, man. Okay, but yeah, what we're seeing, hey, these nations are hitting back. All right, and we're living in the effect, okay, of every vision. Now, I got yeah, oh yeah, brother got this. All right, this is Isaiah 13 and 15. It's the brother Ahab Amath, hope to be of that number by. It says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Yeah, see, Esau in some beef. See, the America in some real beef, man. Like I say, they got to deal with the Russia problem, invading EU. You got China, speaking about invading Taiwan. Okay, you got the small hats getting their ass handed to them. Okay, in the field. Okay, and now you got American. Okay, military bases under constant attack. Ever since October 7, it's been 160 attacks on U.S. bases in that region, man. 160. Okay? So that's more than one a day. You know, got what say 9 months, 3 months, and 3 weeks. So what's this? 90, 21, 111, 113, give or take. So 160 strikes, man. You know, that's at least one a day, some days two, half the time too. Okay? And it's going to constantly intensify and get worse and worse. All right? So now I want to play one more. You know, I ain't mean to hold y'all this long, but it's a lot to talk about, man. You know? So now this is with this one, it goes into what happened as well. But with this one, you're gonna hear military we're gonna see military personnel response. Thought I had I know some brother page real quick. You know, then you got the Houthi rebel. I forgot about the Houthis. Okay, striking cargo ships. America is some real beef out here, man. All right, America is a real hot boy right now, man. Okay, and you know, that's like in the neighborhood, man. A nigga hot, you don't get in the car with that nigga, man. Everybody looking for this nigga. He beef with everybody, man. Okay, you don't get in the car with that nigga, man. Okay, but you Jake still in the car with the hottest nigga in the earth. All right, so I want to just show you the response from U.S. military personnel, you know, about the retaliation. And I was like, nah, not big bad America, you know. So yeah, so they're gonna talk about the same thing. Well, they're gonna talk about the same incident, you know. But I said they're gonna correspond with military personnel, and his answer is just prophecy speaking, man. You know.
The attackers targeted this remote desert base, Tower 22, in northeast Jordan near the Syrian border early Sunday morning. Officials say Iran-backed militants launched an explosive-laden drone into the base where some 350 Army and Air Force personnel are housed, with a devastating result. 3 American service members killed, at least 34 injured, 8 of those injuries so serious the Americans were quickly evacuated to receive a higher level of care. President Biden promising to act.
We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases, and we shall respond.
The response thus far to the more than 160 Iranian proxy attacks on Americans in Iraq and Syria have been limited, largely striking storage facilities. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs telling me just days before this deadly attack, the U.S. is approaching retaliation with caution. What would you say to those people who are your critics who would say, look, they're not being tough enough on these militants. They're not being tough enough on Iran?
I would also ask, do they want a broader conflict? Do you want us in a full-scale war? We don't want to go down a path of greater escalation that drives to a much broader conflict within the region.
But with 3 Americans now dead.
Wait a minute. So America is responding with care. Okay. America is being careful how they respond. All right. And she asked Jake, when you say to people that saying you're not being, hard enough, he like, well, do they want a full scale war? Okay, see, the illusion of being invincible. Okay, the American people just think that the military can just go and do what they want. Nah, man. And these men that have the intel about what these other nations been doing and what they got and how America is spread thin as hell. Okay, they know what it is, man. All right, they know it ain't gonna be sweet no more. Them days of just being able to just do airstrikes and bomb the hell out of people and come back and watch the game. Them days over with, man. Okay, the Lord has allowed these nations to come on the level, man, and to be able to deal. Okay, to where you get, hey, America is on the back foot, man. Okay, because they know that it's not going to take much for this place to get out of control, man. Okay, let it play it again, man. All right, here it is. America, all right, has been the aggressor for decades, man, and now you want to have a limited response. Okay, and that shows you that they don't have that same superiority that they had, man.
I would also ask, do they want a broader conflict?
Iran
I would also ask,
on these militants. They're not being tough enough on Iran.
I would also ask, do they want a broader conflict? Do you want us in a full-scale war? We don't want to go down a path of greater escalation that drives to a much broader conflict within the region.
But with 3 Americans now dead, there is already growing pressure to strike and strike hard. The Pentagon has long had options for striking Iran itself, but Iran denying they had a role in the attack, a spokesman calling the accusations baseless, claiming the militant groups do not take orders from Iran, and Iran does not want a war. But in addition to the attacks in Jordan, Iranian-backed Houthis have launched dozens of strikes on commercial vessels in and around the Red Sea, including this ship hit on Friday, causing a massive fire and emergency evacuation of the crew. The U.S. has managed to shoot down most of the missiles and rockets launched by these Iranian-backed militants, but these American deaths could mark a turning point in these relentless attacks, with U.S. retaliation a near certainty.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, that Top Gun. Maverick, them niggas retired. They in the militia. Like that's them old, what they call the badasses, and they over here ready to fight for the homeland, man. They not studying, what's going on over there. You see what's in the military now. All right. Lil Eve, okay. Transformers. The American military is a joke. Okay. And I'm gonna get this in the blue letter. The brother posted it. Beyond Yasha, I want to get that word small in the blue letter. Okay, the American military is a joke, man. All right, and they got too much going on, and these nations, all right, have become, all right, they become very strategic. See, one thing about it, when you're losing, it's a lot of lessons when you lose. And in their region, America been dominant so long, but those nations been learning American fight tactics, man. Okay, and one thing about it, when you're winning, you get comfortable. Okay, you get repetitive. You just keep doing what's work. You don't get better. You don't get innovative. They might got more, and they got more conventional weaponry and better weaponry. Okay, but their techniques is the same, and the personnel has got extremely soft, man. Okay, so let's get this in Jeremiah 49. Like I said, the brother Bayan Yashala posted it. All right, well, I just want to get that word in the blue letter. All right, in Jeremiah 49:14 says, I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. Okay, and this is what we're seeing. Okay, the heathen are being awakened, man. The heathen have a spirit, and you can tell they tapped in, man, on every side. Okay, America not they not the American military, all right, will not be comfortable anywhere in the world, man. These nations is putting their pressure down, man. Okay, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among the men. And you get this word small, okay, which in the Hebrew is quartan. All right, it means what? Insignificant, unimportant. Okay, and this is what we're seeing. How these nations are treating America is insignificant, unimportant, man. They're doing things that they wouldn't dare do. Strike a military base, unheard of, man. That was suicide. Okay, and show you hey, the Lord unclosed that gap. Verse 16 said, thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rocks, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagles, I will bring thee down from thence, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashemal Shai. Okay, so Esau's terribleness has deceived them. They're still trying to go off their old reputation when these nations in fear. These nations ain't in fear anymore. All right, and you don't have that personnel that you had, all right, in the 90s and 80s. Okay, World War I, World War II. You don't have that personnel anymore, man. Okay, you got these effeminate men that come from the matriarch. Okay, spoiled, pampered, soft as hell. All right, and and Lakeisha, man. Okay, and Latrice. All right, they used to be Leon. That's your military, man. Okay, a joke. It says, also Edom shall be a desolation, every one that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor city thereof, said the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man, all right, dwell in it. Okay? So this is leading up. What we're seeing is the lead up to the complete destruction of America, man. And we're seeing America, okay, these nations just chipping away at America, man, pulling America each and every way. And that's the Lord got the spirit on these nations to do that, man. Okay, to fulfill His will, His purpose, man. Okay, so yeah, man, that's the point. I think everything been said. All right, but yeah, wars and rumors of wars, man, and civil war. Okay, Russia, to invade, Europe. All right, and hey, they treating America like a little boy over there, man. Okay, and the American military is done. Once again, and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, if you in this man military 2024, all this information that came out, all this preaching coming out, all right, you deserve whatever come to you, man. Because niggas want to do everything but repent. All right, but Lord willing, you brothers, all right, and you sisters was edified once again, and give all praise and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah by Hashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great example to our younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.